All right, 8th grade, this is your review for your test over the pronoun section, which is this Friday, okay? So, if you look at the page number, I'm on 145 in your grammar book, and the reason I'm on this page is the very first page of the pronoun section, and you're going to have these two definitions on your grammar test. So make sure you feel comfortable with the definition for pronoun and the definition for antecedent. Okay, make sure you feel comfortable with those two, okay? Not only do you need to feel comfortable with those two, but you also, well, those two definitions, but you also need to feel comfortable with finding pronouns and finding their antecedents like we did in this exercise at the bottom of this page, okay? And I'm going to flip ahead to page 148, okay? On here you have pronouns matching their antecedents. So this page is important for two reasons. Up at the top, it lists for you your indefinite pronouns. So under A, we have the singular ones, B, the plural ones, and C, the ones that can be either or. When you have the section where we have these pronouns being used as your subject, and then you have to match your verb, most commonly, they are missed. So make sure you feel comfortable with which ones are singular and plural and which ones can be both. The other reason this page is important is because it has the two rules for matching a pronoun with an antecedent, whatever noun it's taking the place of. So it has to match in number and it has to match in gender. So make sure you feel comfortable with those rules. And then I'm going to skip ahead to your review pages. So this one up at the top, and this is page 160. So up at the top, this information, when I went through these pages on your last video, your review pages, I told you you would need to make sure you feel comfortable with your cases of pronouns, okay? So when to use nominative case, subject, predicate nominatives, and if you look here, you have the pronouns that go with the nominative case, which also includes who and whoever. And then we have down here our objective case. Think the word object, direct object, indirect object, object of a prepositional phrase. And then here are your pronouns. And remember, whom and whomever also is in that list. So make sure you feel comfortable with when to use each case of pronouns, okay? Now, down here, exercise A, I think I did 1 through 10 with you on this one on the video. You'll have a section on there just like that. So you'll have to pick your pronoun, and you'll also have a section where you have to tell what it's acting as, okay? So the key with that, tell me what's in front of it, okay? Does it have an action verb in front? Okay, does it have a preposition in front? Does it have a linking verb in front? A lot of times if you look in front of your word, it'll tell you what it's acting as. Okay, so exercise A, you'll see a section like that on there. Okay, and then I'm going to flip the page to 162. And you will have sections just like C and D. C and D. So this is the one where you have your indefinite pronouns as your subject and you have to match your verb. You'll have a section like that. This one, D, this is the exercise where you're matching your pronoun with its antecedent up here. So they match not only in number, but also in gender. You'll have a section like that as well. Okay? And then I'm going to go to the next page, 163. You already know you're going to have capitalization and punctuation. Capitalization and punctuation, it's on every single test that we have. So make sure you feel comfortable with that, okay? And then you will also have, I'm going to go down at the bottom here. We had exercise D, where you have an italicized noun. And you have to tell what it's functioning as. And then also you saw in there, it threw in some pronouns too. So you have to have that. It'll also throw in some verbs. So you have to tell whatever the italicized word is functioning as. And you all know this by now with your tests. Instead of having, like this one has 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead of having 4 per sentence, you'll just have 1 italicized word per sentence. And you just have to tell what that one word is acting as. Is it your indirect object? Is it your appositive? Is it your subject? Okay, so you'll have a section with that. And then on the back here, you'll have a little section with E and F, and it's kind of combined a little bit. So you'll have literally just a section where you're picking the verb that matches your subject, whatever it happens to be, okay? So it could be some of your troublesome verbs. It could also just be simple ones like a compound subject, and you have to choose between was or were, okay? So you'll see, it's not a very long section, but you'll see a little section with that. And that right there is your test. So you also saw on here, this is the, this one has all of your answers on it. So I wanted to kind of give you a broad view of that, okay? And I've done that on the other pages as well. So that way, if you were unsure about the answer to something, you can also pause this video and check it out and see, because I saw some of you left a couple of blank, and I haven't heard from you with any questions. So I just wanted to give you the answers for each section as well. And that right there is your test over pronouns.